Warriors! What if you knew exactly what the billionaires were doing? Would you be a little bit calmer through the crypto craziness right now? My name is Coach JB. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Now, why do I repeat the same things every single day? Because you've been predictive or preemptive programmed to be in the position you're in right now financially, just over broke. You're in a system that keeps you trapped in a debt-based society and also fighting for your paycheck to just pay your bills. But what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you what the biggest companies in the world are doing as you're freaking out selling your cryptocurrency. It's all by design, warriors. And if you can develop patience, persistence, and discipline, as we teach in our Warrior Academy, link down below, we teach patience, persistence, discipline, subconscious mind programming, goal setting, vision board creation, and you get access to my portfolio and exit strategy. We're not financial advisors. We're just a bunch of real people who understand patience and how to take advantage of the biggest shift in generational wealth. Now, I'm going to take you through really cool videos. Now, I want you to go all the way till the end. Now, remember yesterday, I'm sure all of you guys remember yesterday, right? China announced that it's shutting down a bunch of crypto projects. And so Bitcoin mining is getting crushed in China, supposedly, right? Supposedly. That caused a big sell-off in the Bitcoin marketplace. And we identified yesterday that Michael Saylor from MicroStrategies bought in a bunch of Bitcoin as the market collapsed, right? We also identified that BlackRock has a huge investment, is a #1 investor in MicroStrategies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you on a journey, and I need you to follow along. Hopefully you'll stay all the way till the end. That's what a true warrior would do. First, we're going to look at it from the C-suite. Now, remember, my experience is 12 years in banking. I was a vice president of a bank. I went to CBA Executive Banking School. My expertise in the crypto space is understanding how to scale banks. So when I hear these C-suite leaders, now C-suite leaders is like CEOs, CFOs, CTOs, right? The C-suite, these are the people making the big financial decisions for the banking industry. Now, the reason why I can speak articulately is I learned how to scale banks. So this stuff makes sense to me. So I want to break it down for you so you can relate this to the crypto space. Now, this gentleman's a little bit harder to hear. He's has a foreign accent. So I want you to listen closely, and I'm going to narrate what he's saying about banks and the future of technology, whereas banks are scared shitless right now. They need to move quickly and efficiently into the quantum financial system, blockchain, and become customer service banks because they're being squeezed. Their capital is being squeezed due to the massive amount of liquidity, the low interest rates, and now Basel III coming in that they have to hold gold on deposit, physical gold, to have riskier assets. As we go through this, I'll help it make a little bit more sense.
End of last year that we're approaching the end of too big to fail. So in other words, all the commitments that were made in Pittsburgh.
Very key what he just said. We're approaching the end of too big to fail. Remember, all the banks were too big to fail. Now the banks are backed in a corner and need to evolve.
Have been delivered. And then at the same time, when we look at our industry, I said, again, the Chinese curse of interesting times, we live in a time of still an intense focus on regulation, difficult economics, structural reform going around the industry in terms of ring fencing and the like.
Structural reform, they're restructuring the whole banking system.
The challenges of dealing with the twin edges of financial inclusion and a greater responsibility for financial crime being imposed upon the industry. An enormous impact of technology and the techniques to access and analyze data, which are both a threat to our industry and a huge opportunity. And of course, that is promoting new entrants. So let me start with you, Paco. As we think about the environment and everything that our industry has been through and the world that we live in, as we look at the outlook for the European banking industry and what it's going through at the moment in terms of enhancing business models, dealing with a slower growth environment and a low interest rate environment.
Okay, so slower business models, low interest rate environment. This is all three of these C-suite leaders are feeling the pressure right now. Their margins are being squeezed so heavily. And if they don't transition into customer service banks, custodying your cryptocurrency, or into fintech, they're going to perish.
And the impact of technology. How do we harness the strength of the sector that's been delivered in capital and the opportunities that are coming from technology and all the policy initiatives to contribute to the ambition of adding global growth and creating jobs. Let me start with you.
The banking system as a whole is really facing a lot of challenges all over the world, and particularly in Europe, where you have, from the macro point of view, probably a more difficult situation than other countries except Japan. Even the States it has a very low interest rates, but not negative. And in Europe, we are now in negative interest rates.
Okay, so that's super important. In Europe, they're in negative interest rates. Right now, we're in a low interest rate environment in America, and there has been rumors that we may go to a negative interest rate. I don't think we're going to go there. If we do, Europe's in a really bad position. When you go negative interest rates, when you have a CBDC, they can actually lower the money in your account.
Very low inflation and very low growth. Therefore, it's very easy to understand that being a bank in Europe nowadays is not easy at all. That's the first sort of uncertainty and concern. Second is regulation. Regulation has changed the dynamics of the banking industry in terms of capital requirements, liquidity ratios.
So capital requirements, liquidity. We're talking about the riskier assets. Basel III is going to be hitting on June 28th.
Regulation is not finished yet. We have discussed it in our board. A couple of things which have to be decided by the authorities of the next months, which can affect again to the financial system very much. But in my view, there is a third element which probably is more important in the medium long term, which is the impact of technology.
The fourth and most important, the impact of technology. So what I want you to do is take a deep breath. What you're experiencing is massive FUD in the market to pull you out, to get your fear. They want your fear warriors. These bankers are buying your fear right now. They're buying the technology. They want you out of the marketplace so they can maintain their powerful position.
The banking system. Don't forget that banks work with bits. Bits are information. Therefore, theoretically, it's very easy to transform the banking system, where you have a business model like Uber and other more physical-oriented business, which has been transformed. So I think next in line is banking. And if you see the impact, the potential impact of technologies, the so-called exponential technologies like the cloud and AI, artificial intelligence, the blockchain, big data, biometrics, robotics.
Okay, did you catch what he said? If I heard that correctly, he said it's like an Uber moment. Basically, you got blockchain technology, AI, the cloud, cryptocurrency.
Internet of Things. All those are really game changers. Some of them, like the cloud and blockchain, are going to be definitely game changers in our industry.
Are going to be definitely game changers in our industry. I just want you to hear it from the horse's mouth instead of hearing it from me, an ex-banker, right? These are the C-suite leaders. Okay, so let's move forward just a little bit. So American banks can simply bail themselves out. This is an old article, but I want you to hear me out through all this. Stay through the whole video. This is going to change your life. Thanks to the Fed's $27 trillion BlackRock deal. This was back on April 20th, 2020. Mainstream media has been awfully quiet about the fraud and manipulation stemming from the global bureaucracy newly enacted in the C-word reaction policies. The U.S. amid the culmination of fear, the Federal Reserve granted special powers to the giant private equity firm BlackRock. The arrangement has been criticized as a great deal because BlackRock now is allowed to buy corporate bonds and commercial mortgages with no oversight and continuously. Moreover, BlackRock can bail itself out and give the funds to many fossil fuel suppliers who are desperately seeking stimulus from the government. So BlackRock was literally giving a free rein to buy back government bonds and commercial mortgages with zero oversight. Okay. So does that give you some insight to what happened yesterday? So the Bitcoin announcement came out from China. MicroStrategies buys up 13,000 Bitcoin. The number one investor is BlackRock. We're going to continue this journey. So this is going to be a longer video, Warriors. So this is now on July 19th, 2019, the CEO of BlackRock is talking about cryptocurrency, but listen to the protocol he explains. It sounds just like Ripple.
Is they have a huge retirement problem there.
Larry, has your view on cryptos changed at all? 2 years ago, I think you called Bitcoin an index of money laundering. You remember that?
I do.
Now, okay, so
that's another broad statement.
So now we have Libra. Yeah. We've also got Bitcoin. Yesterday I got it.
Okay, so now Libra was the coin that Facebook was working to release, and they squashed it in the government because Facebook has billions of users, right? They could have taken over the world. So they threw out all this regulation against Mark Zuckerberg.
To a little discussion with Treasury Secretary Mnuchin about the cash, or the instrument of choice for money laundering. And it's always been cash, my friend. I mean, Pablo Escobar and the pallets going to Iran, and take your pick. I mean, if you're going to launder money, it's been cash up to this point. So, I mean, Bitcoin is probably...
Or jewels.
Yeah, okay, but Bitcoin's probably, for total money laundering, is probably 0.0005. So why pick on Bitcoin for the money laundering when it's obviously it hasn't been used up to... Al Capone never had any Bitcoin.
So I assume you're also talking about Libra then, too.
No, I don't want to... Libra, I don't even think is a cryptocurrency.
I don't either. That's what I was going to say.
And I don't think it has any inherent value.
It's a debit.
And I don't want it centrally. I mean, and Mark Zuckerberg's involved, and everybody gets to keep the float.
Let's talk about the concept, though.
Yeah.
Forget about who's created it and what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Europe this past week. I had to buy a new briefcase because mine broke actually there.
When I was carrying cash to launder
all jewels.
Yeah, you know. All right.
And when I was going to sign the receipt or the electronic thing, they'd asked me, do I want to...
This is super important, warriors. Listen.
Pay in euro or dollar.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, dollar. Then I looked at it. I'm still being charged at 3%.
Terrible.
Okay. So, and when you think about all the people who send money, you know, they may work in one country, send money back home. They generally do that through organizations that charge 5 to 10%. Yeah. There is a need, whether it's a Libra or something else, to democratize the exchange of foreign currencies.
This is exactly why Visa CEO said we are getting involved in cryptocurrency. Because of this right here, what BlackRock is saying, the dominant force in the financial space is saying, we're tired of paying 3% and 5% on our transactions. What solves this problem? XRP. Listen, he's not going to say XRP, but this is exactly what XRP solves.
Computers and electronic market.
There shouldn't be that.
It should be 10 basis points, 5 basis points.
That
it's
makes
not
sense.
percent. And so I actually believe the idea around Libra, I don't think we need to create a new currency, but the technology to instantaneous calibrate all the currencies, that should be done.
Who gets squished by that? Who are the middlemen who are making money on that?
The banks.
You know, as the Bitcoiners are saying,
that's all we need to hear. The banks. You heard it from the actual C-suite bankers. You see how powerful BlackRock is. He's telling us we need an XRP type. He said Libra compared to Libra, right? XRP has the liquidity, has the ability to solve this problem exactly. That's my manifestation alarm. So we're going to continue on. And now let's listen to what Brad Garlinghouse says in 2017 around how XRP can transform banks.
Now, Brad Garlinghouse is the CEO of the cryptocurrency developer Ripple. Ripple's XRP token has surged more than 500% this year. Brad, nice to have you here. Thanks for having me. First of all, just tell people what exactly Ripple does, because it's not just the currency. Also, you're very involved in blockchain.
Absolutely. So Ripple sells a blockchain technology to banks and payment providers and other financial institutions to do real-time settlement between banks. So today, if Morgan wanted to send $10,000 to London right now, the fastest way for her to do that is to drive to Newark or JFK and fly it there. Our view is, in a world of the internet, you can stream video from the space station. You should be able to real-time settle between banks, and we sell technology to banks to do that.
And the banks are getting on board with this because I know there's a lot of paper pushing and also a lot of money attached to those settlements.
For sure.
That was the exact same thing that he just said. The BlackRock is CEO. Listen.
So we have over 100 banks working with Ripple today around the world. I think the vast majority of banks, like 99.9% of banks, actually are paying other banks, the global money center banks like JP Morgan or Citibank, to make those settlements. So a lot of the banks are very excited about
Who was the C-suite leader that we just listened to? BBVA.
Democratizing how these global payments flow. There's a belief that, I mean, you could transform the global payment system over time. Although then the alternative argument is you need a centralized, you can't have it decentralized, that it actually benefits from efficiencies. I would assume you come down on the left. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think anytime you can do something without that central counterparty, you're going to reduce friction, which is measured by time, cost, speed. So by removing that central counterparty and going direct from point to point, you can skip going from the Bank of David to the Bank of Morgan to the Bank of Mike. You just go directly to the Bank of Mike.
So if the immediate opportunity is efficiencies in this area of the actual kind of nuts and bolts sort of plumbing of the financial system, how does that relate to the value of the Ripple tokens or of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies? They're taking on a separate life, it seems.
Okay, so you heard that right there. It's very similar to what they were saying. So let's go take a look at the World Economic Forum. You guys know I'm obsessed with the World Economic Forum and watching every move they make. So BlackRock is a partner of the World Economic Forum. Ripple is a partner of the World Economic Forum. And if you want to, just come here and click the partners in the World Economic Forum, and you will see many connections back to BlackRock and Vanguard. So I pulled up this document here. This is BlackRock Funds V. This was rebuilt on, okay, so this is the data is a statement of additional information from April 29, 2020, and it was amended on January 20th, 2021. Now, I read a lot of this document, but I just want to hit F5, and I'm going to type in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is all over this document. So if you want to take time to read through it, Bitcoin is everywhere in this document. Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. It is all over the document, warriors, talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin. So the question I want to ask you is, why would they have Bitcoin all over their financial documents or things that are submitted to the SEC if cryptocurrency or blockchain was going to go to zero? BlackRock is one of the largest companies involved in almost all companies all over the world. So why would your cryptocurrency go to zero if BlackRock has Bitcoin all over their documents that are submitted to the SEC? Okay. Why would your cryptocurrency go to zero when you have a company that is touted by the Federal Reserve to be able to buy back bonds and commercial mortgages with zero oversight? Are you starting to see what 8 to 9 hours of research does, warriors, and why I'm so confident in my cryptocurrency portfolio? Now, I'm not even in Bitcoin, just so you guys know. I have a broad portfolio of altcoins. My biggest holding is XRP, Ethereum, XLM, VeChain, and CRO, just to let you guys know. And I have a broad portfolio besides that of NFTs and decentralized finance. So I'm not just in XRP. So if XRP went to zero, I'm still fine. I don't put all my eggs in one basket. I'm across all the fundamental cryptocurrencies that I see that are connected to changing the financial system. Okay, so I'm just going to leave you with this right here. BlackRock gets exposure to Bitcoin through MicroStrategies. Both firms U-turn on shaming crypto. August 14, 2020. This is investment giant BlackRock, the biggest stakeholder of MicroStrategies, has now indirectly exposure to Bitcoin. The world's largest intelligent company has recently purchased 21,000 Bitcoins. And yesterday, what happened, warriors, is right when that news came out from China, MicroStrategies purchased 13,000 Bitcoins. So the reason why I'm making this video is, and I'm going to continue to make these as long as I can until I get censored, is to help you, warriors. We are a freedom company. We're helping you free your dome and showing you that this Apple computer you have in front of you can be used for nefarious activities. It can also be used for very good things like this. So you could have the opportunity to become one of the wealthiest people in the world. So there is no left, there is no right, there is nothing to complain about. There's an invisible enemy that you're fighting. The enemy is you, warriors. They want you fighting against each other. We're all human beings. And so we've created a warrior academy of about 2,000 warriors worldwide. Basically, you get access to my portfolio. I show you exactly what I'm doing. I'm not a financial advisor. We have an exit strategy, my exact exit strategy, okay? We also have cryptocurrency calls. We go live in our Discord 3 times per week. We have over 2,000 warriors communicating in Discord. You have access to cryptocurrency courses. But most of all, take away all the crypto, all the money part. We have the most remarkable 120-day challenge that teaches you goal setting, vision board creation, discipline, subconscious mind programming around wealth, because it doesn't matter how much money you have, warriors. It matters if you free your dome. That's how you become wealthy. That's what differentiates our company from all other companies, is we teach you how to create freedom. So when you come into our program, you have to do the 120-day challenge. It's going to teach you how to free this, because you can have $1 million, warriors. And if you do not change your activities and behaviors and your discipline, the money will end up in the same hands. Jim Rohn says we can give $1 million to every person in the world, and all the money will end up in the same richest people in the world in their hands, because you didn't change your freedom. This is what you need to free, warriors. You were born into a system that teaches you how to be just over broke. So if you don't change that, no matter how much money you make in the crypto space, you'll always be poor. So click the link down below. You can join our free Facebook group. You can also join our Warrior Academy. And you can also communicate with us through our YouTube channel, right? We have our live show coming up in just 30 minutes. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday. But once you get into the group, make sure you go through the 120-day challenge, warriors. So I appreciate you. I love you. Longer video, if you're a true warrior, comment Warriors Rise down below. One other thing is we will never communicate with you on WhatsApp app. We do not invest people's money. So those are all scammers in the comments. There's so many people faking my profile. I will never reach out to you on WhatsApp. It is not me. We do not invest people's money. We have a Warrior Academy, which is in the description in our YouTube video right here. Warriors Rise.